Officer Christopher Walsh suffered a gunshot wound and unfortunately passed away at the hospital.
We are investigating a disservice to a Springfield police officer killed in the line of duty. 32-year-old Chris Walsh died after he responded to a mass shooting.
Officer Walsh was a husband, father, veteran, Glendale and OTC grad. He was laid to rest with honors. Now, more than a year later, there's no headstone at his gravesite.
On your sides, Ashley Reynolds is getting answers. It's an investigation you'll only see here.
The next time you drive on the 60 and 65 interchange, know that a few yards away by the tree line, Sherry Walsh might be talking with her husband, her high school sweetheart.
I tell him I love him. You know, I tell him he's not forgotten and that I think about him every day.
Officer Chris Walsh loved her for more than half his life.
I just want him to be a part of my new life, and this is his space now.
A space that's not complete.
And I've seen other people get buried and have their markers placed, and we're just waiting.
What's next to her now is a temporary marker. Chris's best friends put it here a few weeks ago. Before that, Sherry says you could not find his final resting place.
Because we would come here and it was just dirt, completely, and grass, and it was grown over. And I just want him to have a space that shows he was loved.
A young widow's wish for a life cut short. He ran into danger to protect and serve.
I just want his place to represent all the things that we love about him, and it just feels like it's nothing.
Sherry paid more than $16,000 for this monument when she ordered it in December. Though there's nothing in writing, Sherry says the company promised it would be here in March for the anniversary when Officer Chris Walsh gave all.
This isn't acceptable. I need to know more information, and found out that the order was never processed.
Then she had a new deadline.
I was told the bench at least would be here by Memorial Day. I was guaranteed
Nothing.
My daughter doesn't want to come out because she says it doesn't feel like anything.
His best friend since third grade, Andrew Stallcup, wants answers.
It's hard enough knowing that he's not present, but where he's supposed to be present, there's not something to remind us that he's here.
He served overseas in combat zones with Walsh twice.
When places like Rivermont don't hold up their end of the deal, you know, it makes it difficult to move forward with the grieving, and we just really want that solved.
I called Rivermont Memorial Gardens and asked for an interview. I was told to call their corporate office. I left a voicemail. According to Missouri state documents, Rivermont is owned by a company called Stonemore, based in Pennsylvania. Stonemore operates more than 300 cemeteries and 90 funeral homes in 25 states. It has an F rating with the Better Business Bureau. I found similar complaints from other customers. No headstone and no help. There's this too. Last spring, 1 month after Walsh's funeral, the Pennsylvania Attorney General filed this civil lawsuit against Stonemore. It reads the company violated consumer protection law. Stonemore agreed to a settlement and paid $50,000 to the state.
Now, Stonemore is in our own backyard, so we've taken a number of complaints with them.
That's Michael Brannon, director of the Bucks County Consumer Protection in Pennsylvania. He says his office has acquired refunds and monuments for Stonemore customers.
Some of it is supply chain issues related to COVID. Some of it, I think, is just problems that the company and the industry is having.
I told him about this situation.
It would be an honor for us in the Bucks County Consumer Protection Department to help this officer and their family resolve this very sad problem. We would be happy to do that.
After repeated requests for an interview, I heard back from the Springfield location. The general manager, Andrea Peabody, sent me this email. It reads, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We are working directly with the family at this time to address their concerns." That was 5 days ago, and Andrew tells me they have not heard from the general manager.
Chris did a really awesome thing for our community, and it in a lot of ways feels like that's old news. And I know time goes on. It hasn't stopped or changed for me and my family, but at least if we had our marker, we could grieve in the way that we want to grieve for the next, 10, 20 years, and it wouldn't feel like we're still waiting for something to happen.
I have not heard back from Stonemore. There's no balance on Sherry's account. She paid the $16,000 in full when she ordered it. On Your Side will continue to follow this story to help Sherry get answers. Well, we first told you last week, Springfield police officer Chris Walsh, who died when responding to a mass shooting back in March of 2020, does not have a headstone. His wife, Sherry Walsh, says she paid Rivermont Memorial Gardens more than $16,000 for his gravesite marker. She says she was told it would arrive in March for the one-year anniversary. Then it was Memorial Day, and still today, nothing. Officer Walsh's friends placed a temporary marker because they say grass would grow over his final resting place. On Your Side looked into the company that owns Rivermont. It's called Stonemore in Pennsylvania. It has an F rating with the Better Business Bureau. The Attorney General in that state sued the company, and it agreed to a $50,000 settlement. After our story aired, several individuals and businesses have offered to pay for a new marker. The story also got Congressman Billy Long's attention. His office reached out to the family.
If there's anything we can do on our end to assist her, we're sure going to do it, because it's absolutely inconceivable, ridiculous that he doesn't have a headstone yet.
The Walsh family has heard from Rivermont too. Once a decision is made by family and friends, we'll let you know. And if you missed our investigation, you can watch it right now on our news app.
Big progress at the gravesite for fallen Springfield police officer Christopher Walsh here. You might recall our On Your Side investigation about him not having a headstone. Ashley Reynolds is right here with the update. You've been tracking this story.
Yes, take a look at your screen right now. Here is what it looks like. The black bench is placed. There's also a base installed. You'll see that here in a second. Now, this monument will eventually be about 6 feet tall. You might remember just a few weeks ago, there was only a temporary marker placed by friends. Sherry Walsh paid more than $16,000 for the monument when she ordered it in December. She says Rivermont promised it would be delivered in March for the anniversary of his death. Then it was Memorial Day, then July. Well, after our story aired, friends of Walsh say Rivermont management apologized. What else the company is doing to try to make things right, tonight at 6. She says Rivermont promised it would be delivered in March for the anniversary of his death. Well, she says they lost the order. Then it was Memorial Day, then July. Well, after our story aired, friends of Walsh say Rivermont management apologized. Communication is good now. They're making a temporary granite marker at no cost to the family, and that should be in by next week. Now, still no word on when everything should be done. I reached out to management asking for an interview. They told me they are working privately with the family to complete the memorial to their satisfaction. We'll continue to follow this story, and if you missed our original investigation, you can watch it right now on our news app.